In a world where kids my age is popping mollies with leather, sitting on Tumblr, never outside or enjoying the weather, can name a sweater but not a talent or don't know whether or not they got one. Tried to change their life for the better. I was the drama club kid. I run where the fun did. My nuts itch. I was defiant. Always said fuck shit. Hated the popular ones. Now I'm the popular one. Also hated homes too till I start copping me some. See, I don't bees in the trap, nigga. I bees in the bees. And I be gassing up my buzz like some bees at a shell. Fucking sick and getting bigger like I sneezed on Adele. And bitches getting touchy feeling like they reading some braille. I bust quick like gun holders and short tempers and well. I try to tell the kids like fuck it, start being yourself. These fucking rappers got stylists because they can't think for themselves. See, they don't have identity, so they needed some help. But really, boy, poses looking silly, boy. I'm in that past preem shit, older than titty, boy. Not a diss, but same with ice cream. My shit's Dee Dee Reese, not Kel Smith. Transworld, page 64. Popping like oil ollie in the fire flames. I'm harder than DJ Khaled playing the fucking quiet game. The fuck am I saying? Tyler's not even a violent name. About as threatening to stain windbreakers and hurricanes, but he rapes women and he spits wrong like he hates Dennis. Goddamn menace. 666 and he's not finished. And my shit's missing. He hates women, but he loves kittens. See, y'all niggas tripping, man. Look at the article that says my subject matter is wrong. Saying I hate gays even though Frank is on 10 of my songs. Look at that mom who thinks I'm evil, hold that grudge against me, though I'm the reason that a motherfucking son got to eat. Look at the kid who after 9 who tried to blow out his mind. But talk his money, I said, hi, I guess I bought him some time. Look at the ones in the crowd. That shit is barnacles, huh? They thought I wasn't fair until I threw a carnival, huh? But then again, I'm an atheist that just worships Satan, and I'm probably why I'm not getting no fucking album placement in. MTV can suck my dick and I ain't fucking playing, bruh. They never played it. I just won that shit for fucking ratings. Analog fans are getting sick of the rape. All the Tron Cat fans is getting sick of the lakes. But what about me, bitch? I'm getting sick of complaints. But I don't hate it when I'm taking daily trips to the bank. Oh, but no shit, who really gives a fuck what I think? My fans don't. They turning on me. Shit, they almost extinct. Fuck buying studio time. I'm gonna go purchase a shrink, record the session, and send all you motherfuckers the link. Hello, welcome to it. This is Scrunch Your Milk. It's episode 453. And no, we can't get you to St. Joseph's Hospital. That's good. I'm your host, it's Taylor 713, and I'm joined as always by my best friends. It's Tatum 216.
Hello.
Slunchbox 2099.
Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society.
You can sprinkle some pep in that bitch and let the fire pop up. And tonight we're joined by one of the stars of NBC's Grand Crew, podcasters from the Flagrant Ones network of podcasts, XOXO Gospel Kings, Carl Carl's cousin, insanely gifted improviser, DJ, musician, LA Clippers fan before shit was sweet, and a fellow hat enthusiast. Give it up for Pascagoula, Mississippi's own Carl Tart Jr. Carl, welcome to the show, man.
What's up, man? Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for being on.
Thank you for
so
coming on.
I'm Carl Tart II.
Yes.
My brother is Carl Tart Jr.
Oh my goodness! You've explained this before. And you have explained this. If you listen to Carl on his various shows, he's explained that. Yeah.
His list of accomplishments could have been longer than that rap that you just did.
Well, there you go. It was a lengthy Tyler verse, and I was just like, it was that one. Or it was going to be this Fiend verse, and this Fiend verse, I couldn't spit it like Fiend did, so I was just like, I'm going for the Tyler verse. At least I can just read it out loud.
I'm just glad to see you're putting that cardio to good use now.
I do have a couple accomplishments since we are on a podcast that I think are pretty important from Carl.
Right. Very good.
One, you're one of the only people that on Why Won't You Date Me that you had her so engulfed in the conversation that she didn't ask you why would you date her at the end.
Yeah, I think I'm the only person.
I think everybody else, like, she called back and asked later, but you're like the only person for that. I think you helped on the podcast. You helped get Whitney Houston into the Cleveland's own Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because like right after that episode, why aren't there in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? She got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame like right after that.
That's crazy. Who else did I say on that? Was Aretha Franklin's in it? Was it Shaka Khan? Maybe. Whitney was definitely somebody who I was.
I don't remember the whole episode, but I do remember that for certain. Like, I remember that. What else? You do have the best origin tale on Doughboys. Like a lot of people go on there and they're like, "Oh, okay, I picked Dunkin' Donuts because I drink it every day." Like you had a whole good backstory on why you picked Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Like I don't think nobody can touch that.
Yeah, that was fun. That was my first one.
Yeah,
and they took me to Waffle House. They just took John early to Raising Cane's. Though I was mad about that.
He didn't appreciate it. I don't feel like he appreciated it either.
He did. And he kicked it out the Golden Plate Club by not by giving it a 3.5.
Really?
I mean, but he had a 3.5 experience, man. What you supposed to do?
He did. No, then he gonna say at the end after he did it, I had COVID, so I probably couldn't taste. Come on, man. Because like the tenders at Raising Cane's, no, they're not seasoned to death, but they are brined. You can tell they're brined.
Yeah.
So for them to say it's not seasoned, I really couldn't be.
But the sauce is where the seasoning is.
Well, the sauce is balls.
That was the point. That was the point they were making. They said that the it's more of a conveyance for the sauce than anything else. And I'm like, I kind of gotta agree with you, man.
Yeah, but if they allow the people to dictate their sauce, then they can dictate their own spice level, their own seasoning level. If you just drown it pre, then you're telling people what they want rather than giving them the choice.
Hey, man, I like that they serve tenders, bread, coleslaw, and an allotment of beverages.
And you gotta make it a sandwich. You gotta make it a sandwich. That's where to go. I fried some fish the other day, and I had some sauce left over from my trip to Raising Cane's the other day, and I dipped that fish in it, and it was fire. The sauce is boss. The chicken is kicking.
That's what's up, man. That's
a wish.
So me and Aunt met Carl oddly enough at a Doughboy show right before the pandemic. It was like, I mean, it was January and so whatever, and then the pandemic kicked off. So I mean, I can say I know Carl, and but I don't really know Carl. I'm more of a parasocial friends with Carl. You know what I'm saying? Because I know all about Carl because Carl be on shows and talk about himself. Carl don't really know me like that. So it's not like Carl knows of me like that. So I'm gonna talk like I know Carl real tight, but I'm not super tight with that. So don't take it that way. But that's the dude. I talk about him regularly on this show. I try to make any and all people watch his shows. Watch the show, that first season show. I'm like, y'all got to be out here watch my man's show because I need him to get a second season, so forth and so on.
I appreciate.
And then I saw that during this whole. Basically, the for your consideration events that was happening over the last few weeks, that they was talking about, hey man, we should. They basically like trying to push to get you an Emmy nomination.
Oh,
and I hope that shit go down, bro.
That would be nuts.
I think it would be. I think it'd be nuts, but also I like the character Sherm. I like how you play him and what you bring to the table on that, man. I don't know. I just fuck with it. So that's what's up, bro. It's not on my list, but a good question is, how did you get into acting, man? What made you think? I mean, I know like you were an improviser, but I assume those things kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah. So my mom is an actor. That's why we out here.
Okay.
And so I kind of grew up in it. I did it a little bit as a kid. I'm sure y'all probably heard. You can catch me on a couple of things. Malcolm in the Middle, season 1. The first episode of 6 Feet Under. I was in that as a little kid. But I didn't like it. I didn't want to like that. Those was footsteps I didn't want to follow in from my mom. I wanted to kind of create my own path, make my own lane. And also the kids on set back then were already like in their actor brains, and they were just like annoying and not fun to hang out with. Like I was talking about Power Rangers and stuff like that, and they were like, yeah, I got to call my agent. And I'm like, I don't know. What are we talking about here? Like, so like I kind of just didn't want to do it. It was taking me away from school, and school was fun. Still at that. Yeah. Well, you know how school is fun in elementary school. School don't get shitty until middle school. Yeah. But when I stopped playing ball in college, I was like, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. So I started doing background that was an easy job to get, just to like have money in my pocket every day. Cause I knew I wasn't going back to school, but mom's was like, you ain't just going to be sitting around all day. So I was just like, oh, you know what I could do? I could just go back to doing background stuff. And when I was a kid, it was fun. Yeah. As an adult, it sucks ass to be a background actor. It really sucks. And you seeing people who you're like, watching them perform, you're like, man, I could do that. Like real, I could really do that. I know I could. It's in my blood. My mom's theatrically trained, Jackson State University alum, like theater program. She's all about that stuff. And I was like, I could do that. I want to start preparing for that. And then once I knew basketball was over and football was over and baseball was over, because I was trying them all at that point, I was like, maybe I could go back in and do this. I know I haven't played in a couple years. Maybe I can go back and do this. And I was like, man, this is all beyond me at this point. I just didn't have the drive for it. And I was like, well, what's been the other most consistent thing in my life my whole time besides doing sports stuff? And it was making people laugh. But at a certain point, comedy is one of those professions that everybody thinks they can do and nobody thinks they can do. So I was embarrassed to say, even though I was voted class clown in middle school, I was voted class clown in high school. I was always known as that goofball, that funny guy, that person who, even from elementary when I was a really little kid, like making adults laugh and having do little stuff. Because I was a pretty shy dude also, but I started researching how people got on Saturday Night Live, and I was doing everything in silence. I wasn't telling my friends. I wasn't doing nothing. I was like, how do people make it to that show? What do they do? I thought it was just all stand-ups. I literally did not know what improv was. And then I started seeing the Second City Groundlings, the Second City Groundlings, the Second City Groundlings. This is before I even knew what UCB was. And I was like, what are these places? And it was improv. And so I was just about to turn 21 when I signed up for my first improv class. And it felt like what I was lacking from sports, which was like that, like consistent, like what is it, like support, like I react better on positive reinforcement than I do negative. And sports is very much usually your coaches are beating you down to try to get the best out of you, but that don't help me.
Yeah.
Like I don't need you to coddle me, but I don't work well with just constant berating. Like you always telling me that I ain't shit and how terrible I am. But when I got to improv, it was like all these white people just being like, man, you're so good at this. Like from day one. And I had never, they were like, so have you taken classes before? Have you been doing this for a while? And I'm like, nah, man, this is the first time I've ever done this ever. And they were just
We
like,
tend to
oh
have
my
an
God,
eye for talent.
yeah. Yeah. Like they were immediately, everybody was so supportive. And of course I wasn't like that good back then, but for a person who was in level 1, they were just like, you have really taken to this. And I felt like I had took to it. And I got that positive reinforcement, and that made me want to be better and better and better. And so I started doing all the research on it, started reading all the books, started researching how everybody became as good as they are, watching all the old reviews, all the Second City reviews, seeing like Tina Fey and Adam McKay and them back in like the mid 90s, seeing 70s ones with terrible footage. It was security camera footage back then, but like Bill Murray and, all those folks back in the day, like learning about the whole history of Second City and Groundlings and stuff, and going to see all the shows I could see. Because I was also, 20 years old, living at home, not going to school. Mom's on your head for everything. You breathe wrong, she mad that you there. And so like I was like, let me just stay out of the house for as long as I can. And that's how I occupy my time. And then acting kind of just goes hand in hand with that. And the way that Second City's curriculum is, they teach you more kind of theater than they do. Like UCB is like strictly improv. It's all improv based. It's just teaching you improv as a science. Second City is teaching you how to perform. Like, because they put those reviews on. They put like, do y'all ever go over to Chicago? Y'all in Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do y'all ever go over to Chicago and see shows at Second City?
No, I mean we were actually just in Chicago in December.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. We were just there, but we hadn't even considered going to see a Second City show. So maybe.
Yeah, y'all should check it out. It's really cool to see. Really like, and you'll probably see somebody who, will be the next person. Like I remember the first review I saw in Chicago, Tim Baltz was in it, Mary Sohn was in it, Edgar Blackman was in it, Katie Rich, who was a writer at SNL. Like it was like, and this is before they all, did their thing, doing the things they're doing now. Like Tim Baltz is a genius. Like, and I saw him before he even moved to LA, just in Chicago doing shows. So I kind of just like like fell into it so hard, so quick, and stuff started to happen for me pretty quickly. So like 2 years in, I get cast in the CBS Diversity Showcase, which is like this big thing that CBS Network puts on because they're always getting criticized. They don't have enough diversity on the network, so they put on a diversity show every year where they audition like they say 5,000 people, but it's probably a few hundred to 1,000, like somewhere in there where they audition these comedians and get recommendations and hear about people and stuff. And they narrow that down to like a cast of like 20 people, and I was in that, and that cast was pretty strong. I'm 23 at the time, so this is 10 years ago now. That was uh Nicole Byer was in that cast. This is where I first met her. John Milheiser, who was on SNL for a year, who was also good friends with Nicole. Allison Rich, who wrote at SNL for a year. Leland Bowden. Who else? Jeff Hiller, who's y'all see him pop up on all types of shows on 30 Rock all the time. He would always play like whenever there was like a hotel clerk or something, it was always the same guy but a different character. That was Jeff Hiller. Like just tall, bald head dude. And that cast was just like a bunch of dope people, and we all became super good friends doing this show. And that just puts you in front of everybody you need to be in front of in like Hollywood. And you start auditioning, and you start getting on that audition circuit, and they start knowing who you are, so they start bringing you in more. And that's kind of how the acting thing really drove at that point. I still had a job and stuff, but that was how, like, going out. But it's the town of no. So even after I did good in that show, I'm auditioning and I'm not getting nothing. And I'm watching everybody else in that show who was in the show with me rise and rise and rise. People getting SNL, Nicole becoming who she's become, like, and yet I'm not getting nothing. I'm still working at the bar and like like nothing is happening. I'm still just improvising at night and stuff. Excuse me. And so I go to Europe for a year to do a comedy job over there. But right before I go over there, we formed my improv group, which at the time was called White Women. Now it's called the Big Team. And that was just like basically like a kind of like a Voltron of all the black dudes that was in the improv community.
Yeah.
We had done a Black History Month show and was like, hey man, that was really fun. Colton Dunn put us all together and was like, you guys should do a sketch. Here, meet up with these people and do a sketch. That's kind of how he just threw us together. And we all like did that show, and then we just was like, we should start a group. This is fun. And it was great. And then I went to Europe for a year, came back. So in that whole year, they were kind of rising the ranks at UCB. And I just kind of jumped on with them and made the house teams at UCB and stuff. And just that's how the popularity kind of grew. And that's when the no's started turning into yeses a little bit. Not a ton, but, a little 2 lines here, little small part here, 3 lines here, do a walk on here. And then after that, I got the Mad TV opportunity. And that was my first writing gig.
Okay.
So that's kind of where the writing took off. Different from
So
acting.
I actually wrote that down on my list of questions. I ain't trying to ask you how much you make or anything like that there, but what is the one that pays you, I guess, more consistently? Is it acting or writing? Which one, like, checks will always keep coming in for this, but not always for this? Or is that,
Okay.
or do like the guilds or whatever take care of you?
Yeah. Great question. So acting is few and this is hard to come by. Like, so the position that I'm in at this point, a series regular on a network television show is the best thing in life. It's the highest point. It's what everybody out here who's on these auditions is striving to get. So I'm very blessed and thankful and grateful for that. But before I got here, I was in these writers' rooms because I got addicted to the consistency of a writer's room check. Because those are 27-week contracts usually, 30-week contracts. And you getting paid your rate weekly or episodically. Once you move up in the ranks, you get more money, but you only get paid episodically. So if you're writing on a series that has 13 episodes, you only getting 13 checks, but they're more than the 27 checks that you would get as a staff writer.
Okay.
Still, when I got hired on Mad TV, that was a 20-week job, and that money was life-changing. That was the first time that I was getting a consistent check that was that much. And I'll tell you how much that was. It was the WGA base level staff writer variety pay, which is about $3,100 a week.
Nice.
And so that's not bad. and for
Yeah.
somebody who was still living at home with their mom,
Yeah.
like not bad at all. And so, and it just goes up as your level goes up. So like you start as staff writer, you go to story editor, then there's executive story editor, and then co-producer. So if y'all looking at credits from now on, you'll see two different producer titles. You'll see produced by, and you'll see producer. Those are two different things. Producer is a writer. Produced by is a producer. I still don't know what a producer does, but there are people who come to LA and is like, I want to be a producer. They say that they are the money people. I don't know
Yeah.
what that job entails, but people come here and they go, yeah, I'm a creative. I'm a producer. And it's like, what are you doing as creative? Like, but I don't know. Somebody can break it down for me. But
Well,
yeah.
can't quite see it. Second question on there was, what does producer mean in TV, and why does it seem to mean something completely different in film?
Yeah. So yes, exactly. So the level of producer that I'm at, when you see my name pop up as producer on Keenan, that's
Yeah.
just a different writer level. That's just a
Okay.
different WGA classification. So now I've stepped into getting paid episodically as opposed to getting paid weekly.
Okay.
That's what that means. I'm not a producer of a show. It's
Yeah.
just a writer clarification. I'm just a writer on the show. When you see supervising producer, consulting producer, co-executive producer, all writers. Just like and some people overlook this, but when you see story editor, executive story editor, that was what my name popped up as on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It would say story editor on there.
Okay.
And that's another writer title that the WGA puts out.
That's so interesting. And like I said, and apparently, and like I said, from what I've heard, film it's completely different. So I find that interesting. The producer means something can mean one thing, but I was talking to my kid about it. My kid was asking me about it today. He's like, "What you gonna ask?" And I was like, "Don't worry, I got some questions." And I was like, "Producer on TV seems to mean people who are actually producing something. In this case, the written work."
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I feel good about that answer now. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, but in film, usually that producer is somebody who's bringing in money.
Yeah, I thought so. That's just where the bread come from. So it's like they are paying to get the film made in some way, shape, or form. Okay. I'm sorry, Box. What you supposed to?
That's all good. I have a piggyback question when it comes to writing.
Mm-hmm.
So, has there ever been a time where like you wrote something for a show and the way you envisioned it and wrote it came out completely different than the way it ultimately ended up on the show or the program?
Oh hell yeah, yeah. I mean, here's another secret for y'all. Whenever we say watch this episode, this is the episode I wrote tonight. Notice that a lot of writers will put like an asterisk by that because my name is on it. But here's how the writing of an episode will work on a just an episodic television show. You'll start breaking the story. It'll be 2 weeks. Usually takes about 2 weeks. So the first week or 3 weeks. It's a 3-week process basically for each episode. The first week you'll break the story. You'll get all the points, the A story, B story, C story, what ideas you want to do. The showrunner is the person who picks the stuff. So the writer's room is there to give the showrunner more ideas. The writer's room is there to help the showrunner. So the showrunner says, I want to tell this story. How can we accomplish that? The writer's room chimes in with pitches and how to do it. How we can move it from here to here to here. And we can say this, we can say that, we do that. Everybody's pitching on it. Then once that happens, once the story is broken, you'll then go into outlining the story. So outlining the story is when you actually break it down by act. And you put in the act break. So this is what's going to happen in Act 1. We're going to establish it. We're going to establish the A story, get a story move on the A story, establish the B story, get a story move on the B story, establish the C story if there's a C story. Second act, of course, is the taking that story to the next level, the conflict or whatever. Third act is the resolution of those stories. And once you get those in order to how you want to do them, literally by scene, basically, you will write an outline for that, and then you'll come back, y'all review the outline, see what works, see what doesn't, and then once the outline is signed off on by the showrunner, then the said writer of that episode will take that outline home that everybody in the room has contributed to. They'll take that outline home, and that's when they will write the dialogue. And so those are their words, but everybody has contributed to those words. and there are certain words that have to be said. And so once you get a week to do that. So the best time to get sent off on script is a Monday, because you had the previous weekend, and then you get all Monday through Friday off, and then the 2 other days in the next weekend, and then you bring that script back on Monday. And that script on most shows will get beaten to death. Not that the things are bad in it. The showrunner will just go, okay, now I want to beat everything in this. I like this joke, we can beat it. I like this joke, we can beat it. I don't like this. I don't like the way this fits. I don't like the way this flows. We're gonna have to change the ending of the second act. We're gonna have to pick a new act break of this. I don't like this. I don't like that. And it's not personal on the person who wrote the script. It's more just like mind changing,
Mm-hmm.
And then once that script is locked, and that's usually when you have to stay late in certain rooms, the night before a table read, because then you have to send that script off to the network. The network will then give notes on it, which always sucks. The more years your show gets, the less network input there is. But when a show is early, the network is beating it to shreds. And these are not creative people who are giving you these notes. So that gets the most frustrating, because these are people who are just trying to justify their jobs. And they think they're creative, but they're not. And
so the core of this job is to be creative yet flexible.
yes. Yeah, you got to be flexible. And then once that script is finalized, you got to work on it all night again, fix it, and then the next day is usually the table read. And then the table read goes, and you gauge what people laugh at, what they don't laugh at, what they like, what they don't like, and then you once again go back and fix the things that don't work. And then by that next Monday, it's time to shoot that episode. And
Wow.
that's how that goes.
That is a lot. that is a process. Good
That's why
gracious,
it's
man.
that's a 30-week job usually for a 10 episode season,
Yeah. I saw this amongst your IMDb credits, and I was like, I gotta ask, man, did you write that Mary J. Blige commercial, or was that just IMDb got jokes?
No, that was me.
For real?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Wait, not the real Mary J. Blige one. I wrote a Second City parody one.
Oh man, the way they had that listed, I was like, did he write that chicken finger commercial? Because if he did that shit would have been insane.
Let me see if I can find it. If I click off of this, I can
Yeah, you good. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to find it. Burger King. Because it went viral. It was like my first little viral thing. I was like 21 years old.
Nice.
You can see a lot of familiar faces in this. Let me see here. Yeah, it's still up. So I'll send y'all.
It's a chat box on this if you need to use it.
Yeah. Chat right there. And so this is what I wrote. And this is back in like 2011.
All right. I'm like, why am I getting an ad? I don't, because it's not on my normal YouTube. I'm like, I don't get commercials on YouTube. What chaos is this?
Man, YouTube forced my hand with that, but luckily they gave me free YouTube Premium for like 3 months the other day, so I'm experiencing the world of ad-free viewing.
Oh shit, this is cool.
It's the best.
They've been getting ridiculous with the amount of ads that they force into every video now. It's like 2 ads every like minute and a half.
YouTube Premium is the bomb.
Holy shit. All right.
Yeah, that was very good.
Holy shit, that's insane. Yeah, that is brilliant. I will put that in your show notes, people, so you can watch that video. That's insane. All right, cool. Good. Now, see, we made sense of that. I was like, what the hell? Like, there's no way. It's like, I was like, yeah, old enough for that.
There's 3 of them. Like, so
Okay.
you got to watch it. Watch them all. There's 3 different. Oh, it's March of 2012. Okay. Yeah, this was one of the. If you look in the basketball one, it's me missing a dunk in the back.
Oh shit.
I forgot about this. But yeah, it was all the elements of like making these commercials just super black and unnecessary.
Who? Oh no! Who was playing Mary J. Blige in this?
That's that is Naima Funk, who was on Wild
Okay.
'N Out back in the day.
Oh, I
Really
remember
funny.
her.
Oh,
She,
there you go.
from
There you go.
Wildin'
Mixing the
Out.
dunk.
Yeah. And we got the steppers in there.
Oh no! All right, let's see the third slave run. All righty. Oh shit.
And speaking of Wild and Out, I saw yesterday that Nick Cannon impregnated 2 more women.
That's
Oh,
good
my
for
God.
him.
Yeah. That's
He'll finally get him
11
some new
kids,
kids.
maybe. 11 kids.
He's going to need that Elon 43 bill we were talking about earlier to take care of them all.
Holy smokes! I'm sorry. I'm just. It's brilliant.
Yes, sir.
My man in the Laker jersey sitting next to the slaves is real. Oh my gosh, that is so
wanna-
good. Oh,
You want to say hi?
Hey, buddy.
hi.
Hey.
You know Dan and T. Hi. That's not how you do it. And that's Carl Tart.
What's up, man?
Okay.
All right, now you go back to bed. See you later. I love you. Your shirt on backwards.
I mean, it's PJs at that point, man. Who it matters not.
He 2020 crisscrossing it.
I guess so.
Oh my goodness. This more for me. So I know you've been DJing and stuff like that there, but in general, y'all dropped that EP. You dropped the Americana EP last year.
Mhm.
I fuck with it. I'm saying,
thanks,
but that's my shit. And so I'm just like, yeah, you think you gonna make more music?
Yeah, we'll get back in there. I get real self-conscious about stuff that I don't do regularly.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely will get back on there. I got a couple songs where I'm singing on the hooks with the fellas and stuff, and they're also really talented rappers like Lamar and the homie Curtis Dro. Y'all got to check out Dro's music. Phil, of course, Phil Augusta Jackson.
Yeah.
I'll hop on songs with them every now and then. They've been trying to get me to do my own little pseudo R&B, like lifestyle Larry June type EP. But
Yeah.
I keep dropping the ball. But I definitely get back in the studio. I'll definitely be back in there. But DJing is like real taking up a lot of time now.
I dig that. I like that they like that. They were saying that. I don't know. I just feel it'd be dope to like, oh hey, that's a world famous actor, and he also can cut up on the ones and twos and shit.
Oh yeah,
Did you ever
I'm trying to get that residency, that Vegas residency?
That's for real. Now, was you ever a crate digger, like a records kind of dude, or was you always more on the what is it, Serato? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, so I use Serato, but we learn on vinyl. On
Okay.
vinyl, so I got the Technique 1200s right here,
Very
and
good.
that plays vinyl, and you can set the controller up to it.
Yeah.
Pioneer S9 mixer, and but I ain't got no space for records, like not currently. Like this room already looks crazy. Putting records in here would be insane.
Let's see, like right there, you can see this is the overflow. My shelf of records is finally full. And so at this point, it's just starting to grow on that side of the room.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna be so long before my lady starts talking to me bad about it. So it's I got to get another set of shelves sooner than later. So yeah, I'm a pretty decent vinyl head, and
you DJ too?
No, but it was the ideal of DJing that got me into collecting records. Though I was like, one day I'll probably do that at some point. It's like just never came around to it. My buddy Chaffee, he went to what's the school he went to? It's a school out there. He lived out there in Long Beach, so he went to school out there to learn how to DJ earlier in the
Beat
year.
Junkies?
It has to be, yeah. And
okay, because there's Scratch Academy, there's another one, and then there's one I went to Beat Junkies Institute of Sound.
I'm almost positive he went to Beat Junkies, and he did that course with them, and and though he enjoyed it, has still yet to buy a turntable. He's like, I'm gonna get to it, T, and I'm like, I know you'll get to it, but you ain't did it yet, Chaff, you man. So,
I immediately got into it pretty hardcore, buying all the equipment that I needed for the house. I got the Techniques, but I also have the Rain ones, which are needleless, and I got these just to get the feel because the tempo changes when you have the needle on it. The BPM doesn't stay consistent, but on the controller, the BPM stays consistent. So if you playing a song at 95 on the controller, it's always gonna be 95. But if you playing on the ones with the needles, it'll be 93.7, 96.1. You know, it's like bouncing up. Maybe not that deep, but like, you know, within a couple notches.
Do you
Enough
play
that you need to.
Do you play the guitar that's behind you there?
That's a bass.
Oh, bass.
I bought that
on
in
a
the
tiny
pandemic.
screen, so
Yeah, I bought that in the pandemic, and I can play by ear because I play keys, and so I can play by ear a little bit.
yeah,
But
I can see the
don't.
little bit of keys to your left there.
Oh yeah, right here.
Oh,
But
shit.
don't get me in though. Don't. How much can y'all see? Because I can't see that. Hold on, now what y'all seeing? In here? I can't see that on my screen.
It's just a rectangle. It's the base on the one side, the keys on the other.
Yeah. But yeah, I play keys, and I started that when I was like 8 years old, and I picked up that bass because I was just like, man, I should just learn how to play the bass just to like, and it was on sale. Guitar Center was having like a sale on a decent bass for like $200. So I was like, yeah, I'll grab that just to sit in here and watch it get dusty. I don't ever touch it.
There's just something about artistic people where like you guys are able to be good at so many different things. It's like a multi-sport athlete.
I like. I would never get on stage and try to play no bass. Put it that way, right now. Like, but I can pick it up and like if I'm like listening to a song and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty easy bass line. Let me pick this up and just see if I can just kind of groove on it because I can hear it by ear. And I'll do that a little bit. But as far as like me being like, hey man, can you fill in with the band tonight? No, absolutely
Yeah,
Not yet. Not yet.
I'm not saying that every artist is like the Bo Jackson of art. But
Yeah.
like, you know, there's many people who've made it to the pros in one sport and the minors in another. You know.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Well, speaking of Bo Jackson, I know for me, I would like to know what shoe was the shoe that got you into sneakers. Like for me, it was the Bo Jackson, and my mother not buying it for me.
Mm-hmm.
The trainer SC1.
Can I add a B question to that too before you answer?
Go ahead.
Do you own any foam posits?
I got no phone posit. I'll tell you a funny story about phone posits. One time when I was in middle school, I had like the biggest foot in my class. I wore a 14. And my friend at school was like, yo, Carl, we found a pair of foam posits in our yard that are a size 14. Do you want them? And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. And they were black foam posits. And I took them home and my mom ripped me a new one.
Oh no.
Like, whose shoes is those? You don't be wearing nobody's shoes they found in the yard. We ain't broke. We ain't poor. You know, it's like going off on me about that. And I was like, yeah, that is kind of nasty. Like, whose shoes are these? But I did PE in those foam posits that day, and everybody's like, oh shit. But then the dude that gave them to me, like, started like roasting me for it. Like, man, we found those shoes in our yard. And Carl's wearing them.
Come on.
Like, bro,
you
come on, man. Like, you was doing a good deed, and now you like roasting me for this? Come on, man. But as far as me, what shoes got me in the shoes? Honestly, bro, like that story is kind of like telling of how I got into shoes a little bit, but like I don't know if it was a specific shoe.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the lack of shoes I had.
Yeah.
And so, because it was, like I said, my foot grew real fast. And my mom was like, I ain't finna be buying you shoes every month. So
and not
it
to
was
mention,
the pair of Air Forces for the whole school year. My school starts in September out here. My birthday's in January. So usually I could, finesse a second pair around my birthday time, around Christmas time. And so I started school off. First day of school kicks. They look fresh on the first day. You wear them out by winter break, and then winter break hits, and you ask your mom, beg your dad to at least, can you help my mom out a little bit? Oh, baby, I ain't got it. Like, like, please, dad, just help her out a little bit. So I need more shoes. She got me in a school with rich kids. Like, let me get some shoes, ma. And then usually get another pair by then. But then by that time, the whole school year is like, those are the two shoes you get. And you might get a summer pair closer to like May or something, but you can't ask for nothing tight. Like, you got to get, like, you got your Air Forces on first day of school. You got your Jordans for your birthday. That April, May pair of shoes is going to be like a pair of Reebok Classics or something like that.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, as I know a lot of people who are looking for certain shoes, and you can't find the coolest shoes in the size 14.
No.
Like
I wear 13s a lot too, though.
it's either feast or famine.
Yeah.
Either like you'll be able to find them because they're 14, or you won't be able to find them at all, or they don't make them because they're 14. I remember we used to be like the lick for one of my friends was the Champs outlet because they'll always have the bigger size at the Champs outlet
Yeah.
or that back wall at Nordstrom Rack.
I was
Like,
just about to say Nordstrom's Rack. Now, this is controversial, but I'd like to credit me and my homeboy Leonard
okay,
for starting black people wearing classic Vans. Now Leonard's bigger than me.
yeah,
He's 6'6", wore a size 15 when we was in high school. I was his backup center in high school, or starting power forward next to him. He went to Nordstrom Rack we were both at the mall one day, and we had a little bit of money. I didn't have enough money for shoes. His mom would actually buy him Jordans and stuff. Like he comes from like a more of a upper middle class family. But I didn't have money like that. My mom had like $50 for me. She's like, make it stretch. Like, make it stretch at the mall. So we went to Nordstrom's Rack, and I didn't even know. This is the first time I ever went in Nordstrom's Rack. It was the first one that they had built out here. And we went to that back wall, and they had a few pairs of just like classic Vans on the wall for like $20. So I was able to get 2 pairs. But at this time, this is 2003, 2004. I'm a freshman in high school. This is a big step for a freshman to take, making a fashion statement like this, because black people was not wearing classic Vans at that time. We put them on. We go to school, get kind of roasted. Luckily, both me and Leonard are very funny, so people didn't roast us too hard. And so, because they didn't want to get roasted back. But like, we wore them shoes, and everybody was like, "Oh man, big risk with the classic Vans, like them white boy shoes, Cut to a year later, everybody's wearing them in LA. And then a year after that, got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers out of the Bay comes on. Now black people haven't stopped wearing classic Vans since then. But me and Leonard was the first two to have black people to wear the classic Vans.
My children both wear Vans. You have probably influenced the whole generation.
Yeah,
like
Constantly out here. Every start of every school year. That's what they start the school year. They want to start with Vans, and then they'll go from there.
I tried to do a similar thing in high school, but I went the other way. I tried to wear lugs and make lugs popular.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that didn't take off.
Yeah. I got my Birdmans on, and I'm ready to walk. New Birdman lug.
I like when we used to work inside of the office, like I used to like exclusively wear like Vans like all the time because a lot of them, especially if you get a brown pair, don't look like sneakers that much. So I used to buy, and it sounds crazy, like I used to buy like 10 pair of Vans a year. But those are the only shoes I would throw the box away for. What's that?
They're super comfortable walking shoes.
Oh yeah, they're very underrated still.
Like I used to buy Airwalks back in high school, and I didn't even skate.
I'm a slip-ons guy. So I got like all the dope slip-ons and the classic slip-ons, but that's my shit. Especially with some jeans.
Yeah. I usually wear the authentic, the old school, and the Air.
Yeah. Yeah. Vans, and here's the lick too. If you buying 10 pairs, the Vans outlets, usually that back wall, because I can wear 13 in Vans, that back wall is usually like hitting, and they usually have a buy one get one half off sale. Yeah. So you go and you get a pair that's $40 already marked down to $40, and you get another pair that's already marked down to $20. You paying $10 for that pair, and the $40 for the other pair, so that's $50 for 2 pairs. And then you could that's how you stockpile the Vans. Like it's just like constantly,
rotating them shits in.
Yeah, I used to like always like scrounge the net for like Van vaults, because Van vaults are like the upper echelon that cost a little bit more, but once you get past that season, people not gonna pay all that money for them, and they write down to like half off. So I could talk forever about shoes.
Yeah, my Vans on, jeez.
That's definitely shoot. I just now if you notice, I don't really have nothing that's like crazy, like rare and stuff like that. I got a few pairs that that right there is a pair of Virgils that I got like around the time of his death, and I got a couple pairs of ones that I got in these boxes over here. and some threes and stuff like that. But I'm not like a person who's like, I got to win this raffle tomorrow. I buy what I like.
Yeah.
And for me, it's more of just the freedom now of it's probably trauma. It's probably something I should talk about in therapy. But like, it's definitely just comes from me not having shoes like that and me always wanting to be a shoe guy. And now I can be. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's funny. Like the one shoe that's really hurting my feelings right now is the fact that I can't get a pair of Dunk Lows. Because like Dunk Lows were like used to be my go-to shoe. And the Pandas.
The Pandas, yeah. Everybody wearing the Pandas out here right now.
And like the fact that like they used to be like $30 and nobody wanted them. Especially the lows. Nobody wanted the lows.
I had low dunks from Ross, bro. I had a pair of navy and white Dunk Lows that I found on the shelf at Ross.
Yeah.
Ross used to have a selection. I don't know how it was in Cleveland, but back in the day,
in
like 06, you could go to Ross and find something crazy. Let me see.
I think our Rosses now are full of Echo.
Rockaware.
Yeah.
Found these right here. $30. Hold on, can't hear you. $30 in Marshalls, and that's a patent leather lime green Force.
Yeah, I remember those. Like they just came. Those came out like in 2019.
Yeah, $30 because nobody wanted this colorway. I rock these shits. Oh, I got a rose gold pair that I haven't pulled out yet because every time I put them on, I'm always kind of like, nah, too much of a statement.
You have to wear them to an event at some point. See if it works. You get them to work with something.
I gotta wear them with like a suit or something like that. But every time I see them, I'm always like, oh, it's just a little too shiny.
Wear them with the Arby's outfit.
Hell no, I'm never pulling that shit out again. I didn't give it up. I donated a bunch of clothes. I was like, I can't donate to Arby's, but I'm never gonna put that thing on ever again.
Okay.
It felt a little bit too intrusive. The fans got a little bit too much in there. Like, yeah, now spin around for me. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say maybe put it in a shadow box and just hang it off to the side. Like, look,
yeah.
Once upon a time, you saying Arby sent me the hookup.
Arby sent me this. Yeah.
It's fair. All right. My kid told me to ask you this one, so I had to. He said to ask, "Are you a Coke, Pepsi, or Dr. Pepper man?"
Ooh. Okay, so that's an interesting one. If it's burning up hot outside, man, that's a great question. Because I rotate all three, you know, and when I'm doing dark. Honestly, the real answer when I'm doing dark is root beer. Barks to be exact.
We literally just talking about that like last week. Yeah.
I got the A&W Zeros in the fridge right now. I'll pop one as soon as we get done. But like, if out of those three, Dr. Pepper is always one that's like refreshing.
Yeah, it's a sneaky drink. I feel people sleeping on Dr. Pepper, man.
Yeah, people sleep on it. I want to know what them 23 flavors are. Also, Coke. Ice ain't nothing cure a hangover better than ice cold Coke in the morning. That's I don't know if y'all indulge in the adult beverages and the aperitifs, the spirits.
I just got finished drinking one of those new spiked Simply lemonades.
Is it good?
Oh yeah.
Spiked, huh?
Yeah. I saw.
Oh.
The camera ain't doing you a favor. The light got you, but I
it ain't.
I want one of them shits, man.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, man.
It was hidden?
Oh yeah, it was pretty good.
How many calories is in that?
Shit, I don't never. 170. So
170. Okay, so it's like a soda still. They got enough sugar because the White Claws White Claws is all the rage and people be bringing the White Claws to the party, but they just don't do it for me. I don't be getting.
It stuck around longer.
I'm gonna get a little slizzed. Yeah, they stuck around. I want to get a little slizzed though. They don't do it for me.
It's weird to me that became a thing, and now everybody. I mean, Topo Chico again. Simply everybody named Mama making lick it up versions of that. I'm like, do we really need liquor and everything? Did that become
everything?
I just think it's more the norm. They want to have the liquor without tasting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't drink all like that, but I like to taste the liquor when we do drink. I get specific liquors for that reason.
I mean, back in the day, they had the crooked eyes.
I
Like
did used to drink them cricket eyes.
What's that?
it was
St. Ives had a fruit flavored basically beer.
Oh, okay.
So that was definitely 93, 95, like around that. It was some things back in the day. So yeah, but that used to be the little that, and then they came with St. Ives. No, was it Cricket Eye was the juice?
It was the juice.
Special Brew.
Yeah,
Special Brew was
the
the alcohol one. Yeah. Cricket Eye was just like they was basically trying to get children to start drinking St. Ives themed products. And then by the time they grown, they will of course be like, yeah, that's my brand. I'll drink that now that I'm old enough to have, or can convince somebody to sell me some alcohol.
Was it a malted beverage like? Because when we first started drinking, it was Four Locos. Original recipe was all the rage.
Yeah,
that was when I first was able to drink.
It's something like that. But when you have time, I know you're a big YouTube guy. Look up some of the Crooked Eye in the videos. They're amazing.
Okay.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna slide across the room right quick. I'm gonna pull something out for y'all. Hold on.
Okay.
St. Ives is definitely one of my favorite commercials. Like the Nate Dogg just hit the corner store. You know what I'm looking for.
St. Ives. That was definitely a great time for liquor music.
So that came out a few years ago. That's the St. Ives, all the commercials, and like if you like. It's King T, Ice Cube, Ghetto Boys, Rakim, EPMD, DJ Pooh, Tupac, MC8, Nate Dogg, Scarface, Warren G, Wu-Tang Clan, Jay-Z, Yo-Yo and King T. Everybody and mama basically did Crooked Eyes or St. Ives or a Special Brew commercial of some sort.
Is the Nate Dogg song on that? Is that the Just Hit the Corner Store song?
Yeah. You know what I'm looking for, St. Ives. Yeah, man. So
that's on that album. I wonder is that on DSP? That's tight. I tried to, Snoop Dogg had a St. Ives tracksuit that I tried to track down like crazy because I wanted the shirt, the whole fit.
Yeah,
but I can't find it anywhere. I think it was like specially made for Snoop Dogg. But it's got that eye on it.
Yeah, I got that forever ago at a record store day from my old record shop that is now out of business. But that's really it's one of my special ones in my collection there.
What's that album called?
It is literally called the St. Ives Bootleg. Includes rare tracks by, and it goes on from there. Yeah, I kept the sleeve on it, the plastic on it, so I can keep the hype sticker. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to be better about how I open my records. Because I bought, what did I buy? Summertime. DJ, Jazz Just Fresh Prince. And they was like, hype sticker still included. I was like, should I been keeping my stickers on this bitches this whole time? I didn't even know. I've been unwrapping records and but no. So now I get it. I split them with a razor real fine, and I get the record in and out. So
nice.
That's like wearing a new era cap and taking the sticker off the brim.
Yeah, never. Sticker stay there, bro. Why would I do that? Oh my goodness! All right, this one is random, and it's actually the last question I have on my list of questions, and then we'll kind of roll into a regular old show unless y'all have something else. And that is, do you skip intros on streaming services? If you watching something on Netflix, Disney Plus, or whatever, and it gives you the option to skip the intro, do you skip the intro?
It depends on which one it is. So I gotta watch Gospel Girl all the time now. I'm skipping that intro. I'm sick of that.
That is logical.
But what's the intro that I wouldn't skip? How you living? What? How you living? You can do what you want. The second season theme.
Yes,
is one of my favorites. I don't skip the Martin theme song when it was the Take 6. Martin.
Oh, okay.
I'm the man. Whoa.
Yeah. I'll listen to that one. That one's on HBO Max, and they give you the option to skip that. I'll skip the first one. I'll skip like because I done heard that just too many times. But the other one still is a groove. Yeah. But yeah, those I won't skip. Family Guy I'll skip sometime.
But that's like one of your favorite shows. So it's at this point you have unless they do something to change that intro up greatly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I happened to that came to me the other day when I was watching Stranger Things and it popped up and skip intro. I'm like, why would I skip this intro? This intro's I love that intro. It's got that
It's
good
tight.
like spooky music. Plus, them shits only come out like every 4 years at this point.
Yeah.
No, I'm a savor every moment of that shit.
I didn't get to watch. I didn't get to it. Stranger Things.
Hey man, if time is ever on your side, or you know what I'm saying, you out of town, you need something to just throw on, start that series, run right through it. It's a pretty good time. Got to give it up to them, man. They made a pretty damn good show. I cannot deny it. So
All right.
that is what's going on there. All right. Y'all got anything else y'all want to ask before I jump into a regular ass show?
I think I'm pretty good.
Very good, very good. Thank you for that. All right. I call this one. You know what I'm saying? No, normally we do a couple of news stories about in the great state of Ohio. We've had, some people are like, oh, what's going on in Ohio? Let me tell you. But this particular one, I think I literally want to start a series based on some shit like this. If we come across a gentleman, I want y'all to know this shit. I call this shit grand opening, grand closing. Tamir Rice killer Timothy Loman hired as police officer in small Pennsylvania town. And I could go through that whole story right quick. Damn, that's bullshit. They hired that cop who killed a child in this town. But then literally hours later of that same day,
He quit.
let's click over to that story. Timothy Loman withdraws from Pennsylvania police job day after news reported hiring. This little nobody who should never work again, especially in the work of protecting and serving. Got that job, $18 an hour, which is real sad when you think about. I don't know. I guess he would have been the only cop in that town. So maybe that's a fine, amount of money for that particular police officer. But he quickly lost that job once the mayor was like, "No, bro, you can't be hiring this child killer to be in my town." So, yeah, like I said, I don't even want to delve deep into it because it's always going to be a sad story. That shit happened just up the road from here, and but I definitely, like I said, if I come across more stories like that, we have a segment now to put it in. I'm gonna call that shit grand opening, grand closing. Believe that.
I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah. So you come across something, you let me know. But it's always worth tape. Ant-Man, what you got for us this week?
Oh man, I got a little story. So this week my hot water tank busted. So Saturday, I was working on another project. So because I know we were talking about shoes earlier, my whole thing is I don't leave the house no more. I'm trying to get down to like 40 pair of shoes I have and get rid of the rest. So I'm like getting the room ready for it. So I go into the basement, I move this rack, and I notice there's some water on the floor. I'm like, oh shit.
Luckily, we ain't doing it live today, so I got you. That's an easy edit.
So I noticed it was water on the floor. I let her know, and I'm like, man, like it's just drip. The hot water tank started dribbling. Now keep in mind, this is the 3rd of July, so they was like, no, we can't come out. So I looked up on YouTube what to fix. It fixed it a little bit, but it didn't completely stop the problem. So then we had to call like a real repairman. They finally got to get out here. I think it was like the 6th. It was like Tuesday. So they came out Tuesday, and like the guy was like, "It's these two problems. Either you can completely." It was like it's a thermocouple, but that costs $900 by itself. Either you're gonna do that or get another tank. I was like, our tank was 20 years old, so I was like, no, it's 22 years old. I was like, let's just get another one. So we get another one. He puts it in, still dripping a little bit. He said, let me check the water pressure. He checks the water pressure. Now, I'd already looked like some of these things up. Our water pressure, what's the matter? Oh. Our water pressure was at 160. Your water pressure for your house is supposed to be between 40 and 80.
Damn.
So we've been living here for about 8 years. I don't know how much shit I don't have to replace in this house. Like when we were first hooking up our wash machines, hose busted. First day. I've had to replace like the filling tank in both toilets. All these things over
The
these 8 years.
dishwasher.
The dishwasher, yeah. Every problem that we've had in this house was because of the water pressure has been 160 for 8 years. Like quadruple what it should have been. And this caused all these problems. So um it was funny, like so the guy fixed the first thing. He came back with a pressure sensor, fixed that. He was not going 5 minutes. The pressure was so intense it busted the previous shutoff valve off because he like right above the shutoff valve is where like the old workings.
Yeah.
So it busted because of the pressure was so much between where it starts to slow it down. So I had to call them back. They replaced that for free with no problem, and it was just like it was. I felt like it was such relief because it was like you could tell the difference like right away, like the difference between how the water was just flowing in the house, and it was just like
Where do you even source that? Where's that problem start at?
from the city. The city, like the what, like so right where the water comes into our house, it's a shutoff valve.
Yeah.
So that's like where it initially comes in at. So we could turn that off and on. But he was saying that seemed to be getting bad too. But I have to call the city to turn off the water in order to fix that. So that's a whole nother problem.
Jesus Christ, man.
And in this city, we live in Richmond Heights, right outside of Cleveland. At least 2 times a year, there's a water main break. I think they doing that shit on purpose so they can be like, "Hey, City of Richmond, come fix. We need to fix our water again." It's always a water main break here, all the time. So, man, I want to sue them.
Do you have a bidet installed in your house?
A what? A
A
bidet?
bidet.
Man, if I'd have been getting my asshole tore up.
That's what I'm saying, man. You tearing the skin off.
The only reason I bought the same bidet you have. The only reason I didn't install it because we've been thinking about not thinking about we've been preparing to move, and I didn't change it because I was like, man, we probably if we move and I ain't gonna want to take off a bidet and put another bidet on. So that's the only reason I didn't put that bidet on.
I'm glad you didn't. You would have ruined it or had a
Yeah.
bad time.
I mean, it's the gateway to getting plugged. No, not plugged, pegged.
Peg.
It's the gateway to getting pegged.
The gateway peg.
Oh my
So the
god.
city controls the water pressure?
Yeah, like they control how much like water goes in and out through the through your plumbing. Yeah,
Wow. I wonder. So at my grandma's house back in the day, in the South you take baths.
yeah.
I ain't started taking showers until I moved to LA. Always taking a bath when I was a kid. But then when I started taking showers, I'd go back to my grandma's house, try to take a shower. That water would come out so hard that it would hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, what's wrong with this shower? It feels like knives. And I wonder if that was what the problem was. I wonder if it's a water pressure issue.
The water pressure. Yeah, it's like I could tell immediately, like just the way the water came. Like so in our kitchen, like we got a hose, the on and off and I remember I enjoyed how much pressure we got from you washing dishes and I don't got to worry about scrubbing because I could do it. It doesn't even do close to that anymore. Like that water was coming out with such force, like it was quadruple what it should have been. So it fucked up a lot of stuff, but I mean,
That's good. But like I said, y'all in the midst of trying to buy a new one and sell the old one. So that's good to have found that, and we'll hopefully get that taken care of. That's wild.
yeah, it was like it was. Yes, I had to. I like any other thing that happened that day, like replacing a water tank is about $1,000.
Yeah.
So I knew that was the amount of money that we were probably going to spend. Granted. So then like, they put on another overflow tank. Didn't have to worry about that. But like the main problem all these years has been this one thing, and like, I mean, y'all know all the stories I've told on here about, like, I had to replace the washer in the shower, or when my niece broke the sink, the sink in the back bathroom. It's always been something, but it was like the underlying issue has always been the water pressure. And I know you edit the show, and you hear sometimes we turn the water on, you hear in our house. So, whew, man.
Well, that's insane. I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad you arrived at a good fixing point, man. But jeez Louise, bro, that house, man. It's been a real journey for you, man.
I mean, I feel like, yeah, it's been a journey, but like, I think honestly, part of a generational wealth is not just like having money and like, but it's part of knowledge, like, right.
Yeah.
So when the guys were here and like when shit started going wrong, I knew the steps to do beforehand before they got here. I know, like, hey, when I shut off my main water, I know I got to turn on the water in the basement sink to let all the water out in the whole house. Or
Yeah.
like the dude was like, when they had to rush back here when the off switch busted, he was like all the water, like I knew to turn the main water off. He was like, you would be surprised how many people would just, when stuff get messed up, just let it run until we get back, or let it run until we get here. And like we gotta, work and muck while we're trying to fix the problem. I was like, I just couldn't let that happen. Like, I still gotta live here because this is my friggin' office. I'm not gonna, just can't be having water down here, and I
Yeah.
don't know. It's, I kind of feel like knowing the little things to do and being able to, tell the boys like, this is what we got to do, because I mean, every time you're not gonna have the money to just to buy a new hot water tank. You got to know something. So
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you was on that, man. I already have pretty much prepared boxes of story time this week. So this one starts with me having to quickly share y'all some sounds.
okay.
So let me do a quick share. We're gonna click that. We're gonna give you some system audio. Share, and I'll push play.
Oh,
very good. You give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear it once I push play on it.
Lastly,
great ass.
Considering were to get $8 million in a conditional draft pick for a guy that at best could have gotten you a third round compensatory pick 2 years from now.
Here,
Is a
I'm gonna turn it down.
Considering where they were to get $8 million in a conditional draft pick for a guy that at best could have gotten you a third round compensatory pick 2 years from now, is a solid return. Grade A. So I think it was a pretty varied bag from the Browns.
Good point,
fans.
Lunchbox.
I give it a
Yeah, how would you guys grade?
With what they had to work with.
I can't give it an A. They only got...
So the voices that you heard there are members of the recently formed Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Now, the person who named me directly there, those of you listening, I'm sure are familiar with his work. He is the person who created the Cleveland video, the Fun Times in Cleveland Town, everyone. Mike Polk Jr.
Okay.
So the story behind that was I like to interact with that show a little bit because I want them to succeed. And they had put out a question about what do you grade the trade of Baker Mayfield to the Carolina Panthers? So I just basically wrote to them what I had said in my own personal group chat with my buddies. I didn't even think it was going to make it on air. And I was just sitting here watching the show while I was working, air quotes around working. And it popped up on the screen. I saw my Twitter handle, like my beautiful face was on the internet. And I was like, oh shit, that's kind of cool. But it's not the first time this has happened. I remember like when LeBron left and I talked some trash on Twitter that I had people in Miami attacking me. That's the thing about sports and the internet, man. Like sometimes you just find yourself in the spotlight without even like thinking that that's what's going to happen.
It's the worst. Sports internet is the absolute worst.
Yeah.
I, for one, know firsthand. However, Colin Cowherd did say that Baker Mayfield coming to the NFC South would be the best quarterback in the conference once Tom Brady retires next year, and I found that blasphemous. When you got famous Jameis tossing that thing in the East. Jameis is good. Get ready. Y'all boy, Michael Olave. Isn't that first name Michael? He
Chris
played
Olave.
at Chris Olave. I don't even know. Michael Thompson. is Chris Olave is his name. We got him. Jameis gonna find him in the end zone. I'm telling you.
Okay, so you're a Clippers fan that roots for the Saints. I'm just trying to piece this all together now.
Came up down south, so the Saints kind of become your team automatically just because just for where you from, right?
Either the Saints or the Falcons. Hold on now. I'll give y'all the breakdown. See,
Fair enough.
Y'all didn't ask this question. I'll give y'all the whole sports break if you got the time.
Hey, please have what?
Don't
Have
worry,
that.
man, I'm at home.
So let's start with the New Orleans Saints. That's from birth. That's black and gold till I'm dead and cold. That is where it all started. I'm born about an hour and a half from New Orleans. That's like my dad played for the Saints. A lot of people don't know that.
Okay.
I'm born a Saints fan. Born a football fan first, period. 1997, I moved to Los Angeles. And my mom is dating a dude that's not my Saints football playing dad. So it's automatically get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? Huge Laker fan. First game I ever go to ever is a Clippers game. And they win. And this old white man looks at me and goes, "You must be the good luck charm." Because I told him that it was my first time ever being at a game.
Was it Donald Sterling?
It was Donald Sterling. And we've been best friends ever since. That's how the Clipper thing started. And the Clippers like standum didn't really start until about 10 years ago when I started getting berated online for being a Clipper fan. And I said, well, now I got to stand 10 toes down and never move off this hill. I got to die on this hill. And just like you said, I appreciate you saying I've been a Clipper fan since before shit was sweet, because yes, man. But I was rocking with y'all, man. I was a Cleveland fan for LeBron James. I've always been a big LeBron James fan my whole life. I mean, since I was 14 when he came to the league.
Yeah.
Because he was a real cool dude, and once he came to the Lakers, he betrayed
you
me.
maintained your Cleveland fandom once LeBron changed zip codes?
Well, man, I'm a Shady Osman guy all day. No, I have not. I don't mind Cleveland. I don't never root against Cleveland. I like Cleveland. I like everybody on their roster. Like I like JD Osman. I like.
I mean, I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, but it just seems like, and this is a generational topic. Like when we were young, you were loyal to your team and you liked the players on that team. And once the player left, you still rooted for your team. You didn't follow with that person. And it seems like as time's gone on, that team loyalty has gone away, and now people are more loyal to players.
Yes. They were just talking about this. Did you watch Undisputed this morning?
I watched parts of it, yeah.
Yeah. So Shannon was talking about this, and they were having a really weird conversation because it's a hard line to toe when it comes to that type of stuff, because you do want players to have power and players to have autonomy and stuff like that. But then when you see what's going on with Kevin Durant right now, where it's just like, I'm going to play here 1 year and I don't like it anymore, I'm going away. I was like, boy, you got a contract, man. You got to play. Like, but they're like, nope, I'm not going to honor the contract and get out of here. Like, the demanding of trades and stuff like that. And he was talking about it's causing people to not be loyal to teams anymore. And I will also say with the advent of social media and how much basketball is a social media sport now. Like, I don't notice it as much in football and baseball. Honestly, football, social media, I'd rather not look at, because it's usually a lot of racism involved.
Well, baseball doesn't even allow their stuff to be posted by anyone that's not an MLB account. They flag everything.
Yeah. See, I wish the NBA did that, but it's making the game global and it's making the game very popular. So I get why they're doing that, but it's one of the reasons why I go so hard for the Clippers now is because I feel like it's my duty to represent for the underdog in Los Angeles. If I feel like you see the Chargers hat right there. I'm not a Charger fan, but I rock their gear and I don't rock great color scheme. Their jerseys are some of the hottest in the league.
Probably the best, like in sport.
Yeah. But I'm a rock with them because everybody likes to shit on them because this is such a fair weather town. People don't support you unless you're winning. And I've been stepped on, battered and bruised over these damn old Clippers. And I'm going to continue to fight front lines. But with that being said, I'm all sweaty. Saints is my number one, like, bury me in a black and gold casket. I might even get the floor tatted. Now that I'm getting tattoos now, but I did not continue to watch Cleveland basketball after LeBron left. I was a I go wherever he go type of guy, but always rooting for the Clippers within that time. I knew that the Clippers were not going to be in the postseason during those years, so I got to root for somebody.
Yeah.
And LeBron is the guy that I'm rooting for. I'm not finna root for the light skinned gang in Oakland when they're playing against King James.
To be fair, though, the Clippers haven't exactly had like lean years for the last decade. I mean, you had Lob City.
Yeah, but I've been rocking full on. I mean, listen, when you're a Clipper fan, you know that something's bound to go wrong eventually. But I also think that that's like the beauty of sports. I feel like y'all as Cleveland fans can appreciate, rocking through thick and thin. But like,
yeah. I mean, imagine having
yeah.
like continue to root for your team when the whole country is telling you you're a piece of trash because your quarterback may or may not have done some things.
Now, that man was humping the air. It's crazy. I've been trying it every night. It doesn't work. I don't know how he did it. How can you be that horny? You got to be insanely horny to hump the air and bust.
I'll be honest too. Like when all this first came out, I was like, how can this be real? And then like I'll say about 3 weeks ago, I was on Twitter one night and I ran across a video that I had forgotten that I had seen a couple years ago. And it was Deshaun Watson in his apartment in Houston hanging out with Mia Khalifa. Yeah. And I was like, the warning signs were there all along, and I looked past it.
And she had on a French maid's costume. It's like, man, this dude's got to be the horniest guy on the planet.
Wow.
Which I'm sure back then people thought that was just a flex. But I wonder if they hooked up.
I mean, I assumed they did.
Because she's like a big sports fan.
Yeah, it's like she was doing like a show. But
I don't want to assume that just because she's a fan. I mean, I don't know. Don't she got a sports show?
There's a difference between being a fan and being in dude's home.
Oh, I don't know. I was going to say I thought she had a sports show. Maybe she was interviewing him or something. But I never want to make assumptions. I'm saying.
I mean, I don't want to make assumptions, but like she likes to fuck. I mean, it's already in the air.
You know what else is in the air? His meat. Because he's humping it.
Me.
Listen, I feel for him in a way, not condoning his actions, but I really think in his mind, because he keeps holding strong to like, I didn't do nothing, non-consent. I didn't do nothing. But I think in his mind, he really is like, I didn't touch these women. I didn't say all I did was hump the air. Mm-hmm. Like, not realizing that that's still just as bad. Like, they're not trying to see you hump the air and bust. Like they're still trying to do their job.
Yeah, like, I know a lady who used to do like she does waxing, and she doesn't do guys anymore. She was saying like we're filthy. One, we're dirty. Mm-hmm. Then, like she was saying like one time, no rubbing, no tugging. And she was like, that was it. No more.
In her face?
Not, I mean, I guess it came at her. It you know, he didn't put a mushroom tattoo under her eye, but like he came. And she was like, after that, she wouldn't do guys no more.
Yeah, I would imagine that's gotta be.
And like, dudes is trife. We be so bad.
We terrible. But we gotta come, man.
But think about it in the context. We're having this really awkward conversation right now, and we're gonna have to deal with this for the next decade, probably.
Yeah, it's like I said.
He says that Clevelanders know what it's like to stick through thick and thin. This is why is what it's like to stick through thick and thin.
Well, I don't think I want this level of thin and or thick, however you wish to describe this situation.
That's why it's always helpful to have another team. Like I know as a Clevelander, the Broncos shouldn't be the team that's my secondary team. But since I know somebody who played for them, I feel like they have a good chance with this year with a new quarterback. And I guess
your defense though, that dude's like practically family to you.
Yeah.
So like,
you know Russell Wilson?
No, I know Draymond Jones that played for the Broncos.
Oh, okay. My dad played for the Broncos too.
Yeah,
back in the day.
hopefully that with Sierra cheering them on, like sliding up and down the cars in the parking lot, that would be good
I
for
know
them.
that would give me the motivation I needed to succeed if Sierra was cheering me on.
Well, the general scope was I want to know, just in general. I mean, clearly you made the point that you feel we did pretty well in this trade. You know what I'm saying? We got something for you know what I'm saying for what was going to look like. You know, it gave us what did they give $8 million in cap space or whatever.
Yeah, the pick we ended up getting ended up being
Compensatory.
so we would have gotten a compensatory pick if Baker had left, and then that pick would have been based on how much he signed for when he left. But the pick wouldn't have conveyed until 2 years from now, so 2024. When I said what I said on that show, I hadn't heard yet that the pick we're getting from the Panthers is also 2024. So
Okay.
it's not coming this following year. It's coming 2 seasons from now.
And it's
So
a
it's
fifth rounder.
almost like we're getting like a slightly less quality compensatory pick and saving $8 million.
Okay.
But with the financials on the team right now, the $8 million is extremely important. So it's worth because realistically, Sam Darnold sucks. Baker's going to win that job. I did the math. Baker has to play 12 games in order for the Browns to get a 4th-round pick. Yes, I'm that crazy at sports with following it all. I did the math. So Baker plays for the Panthers 12 games. We get a 4th-round pick. If he had left here and signed a pretty solid, mid-tier, a little bit more than Trubisky, we would have gotten a 3rd-round compensatory. So we knocked it down around, save $8 million.
Okay.
So basically, Carolina said, "Let me get Baker Mayfield and some waffle fries."
I shit you not. I literally watched that video 2 nights ago. Hodge Stenson is on my YouTube recommended right now. Granted, I'd seen that video in high school, but because I pulled that up for old time's sake, that whole playlist is showing up in my recommended the last 2 days.
Nice.
Down to
Well,
the
give it
Silver
a-
Bowl.
Props to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, a new show in our area. I don't really get down with sports that hard. I enjoy. Look, I root for the Cavs. I root for the Guardians. That's it. I try not to root for the Browns because they break hearts. So I try not to even play myself like that. So for football, nah, I'm okay. I'll just enjoy whoever's playing the game. It's just a smarter play for you, man.
Man,
Because
I wish I could be so flippant.
it's just better for me. Because I'm not saying I used to go hard for the Browns, but I was a bit more invested, and I was like, I got to quit doing this to myself. This leads to bad Mondays every week, and I don't need that.
How do you stop? It's time for you to therapize me. How do you not root for the? How do you not do it? Because with these Clippers, I try my best. I'm in too deep. I am Omar Epps, and I'm with God.
I'm going to play devil's advocate right now. Is the perfect time for you to be in deep. This is the best shot you're going to have for the foreseeable future.
Not foreseeable, I would say, but I do think that this team. I never listen, man. Listen, after Lob City was that 2014 team was supposed to win the championship, and we were a better team than the Warriors. But that's when the Warriors bubble broke. After that, it's when you get beat up like me and you're a Clipper fan, y'all think Cleveland sports get shat on? Like, we share a city and an arena with not only the most storied franchise, but the media darling. Like, they love the Lakers fart and they're talking about it.
That's why you guys need to get out of there.
Talon Horton Tucker farted today.
Wasn't there talk of the Clippers getting their own arena outside of the downtown area, like 40
We
minutes?
are not 40 minutes. I mean 40 minutes in traffic, but in Inglewood, it's like 10 miles away from the stadium. It's coming. It's 2024 season. It'll be there. When y'all get that $8 million for Baker Mayfield, we'll also be in our own arena. And here's the crazy part. Here's a story that a lot of people don't know. The Staples Center is the Kings arena. That's where the Kings were moving out of the Great Western Forum and going to get their own arena. That's why everything is purple in there and stuff like that. It's not for the Lakers. It's purple for the Kings. They came to Donald Sterling knowing that the LA Sports Arena, where they were playing at the time, aptly named by Bruce Springsteen as the dump that jumps, because that's what he does. He would do all of his LA concerts there. and it's a dump, and it's been a dump since the 50s when it was built. It's gone now. They tore it down for our other soccer teams stadium. But I played my city championship game there in high school too. But that place sucked. It was awful. It was gross. It was like everything was leaking. I'm sure the water pressure was probably through the roof, way more than 40 to 80 in that building. But they came to Donald Sterling first and said, "Hey, would you like to be the second tenant in this arena?" And he was like, "I need money to do it." And they're like, "What? No, we give you this amount of money." He's like, "I need more. I need more money to do it. Convince me that I should move the team. So you'll have second billing behind the Kings, like if you do this." And he was like, "Nope, I need more money. I'm not gonna do it." And then the Lakers did it and got that second billing and won 5 championships in there. And like he just like, okay, we'll come. So now we got third billing behind the Kings and the Lakers, which is why Clippers are one of the few teams in the NBA, if not the only team, that plays home games at 12:30 p.m. on Sundays.
Oh wow!
And because he wanted to get third billing, as opposed to just taking the money that they offered him the first time. He was so greedy. But
yeah, just a terrible owner all around. We knew that when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Wasn't he also extremely cheap?
Yeah. Extremely. He knocked when he first bought the team and he first moved to LA. He did that. He wasn't supposed to do that. He knocked all of the budgets down to like $100. So basically, people were like the scouts were having to pay out of their pocket for things. Trainers, like they paid the trainers, but the budgets of them to get stuff like tape and things like that. Basically, the players had to bring their own socks to the like. They had to he knocked the budgets down for everything, and I didn't understand this at first. I had to ask my friend recently, what is it that incentivizes? Usually, when a team is well liked, you're gonna get more people. I remember when I first went to that first Clipper game, it was empty in there, man. It was only the bottom bowl was full. The top levels were completely empty, and I'm like, shouldn't a contender make you more money? Doesn't that get you more money? It's like, no, because the league gets a piece of the television deals and the merch deals. So basically, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. You're still getting paid at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just now learned that. I'm like, so that's why he sucked all those years and did not care to win.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the same thing like with luxury tax. Like the teams that go over, they put all that money into a pool, and then all the teams that aren't in the tax split that pool. So, like, as long as you own an NBA team, the cash just flows because you get the TV rights, the merchandising rights. You can suckle at that luxury tax money. That's why
he didn't need to put money in another
$4 billion now.
It's crazy. He didn't need to put no money. Dan Gilbert too. Quicken Loans.
What is that building called now? The Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, correct?
Mortgage Fieldhouse, yeah.
Don't like that.
Once upon a time, that was the Gund Arena. Now that name was awful because it just sounded like gonorrhea. But the Q was kind of sweet. You know what I'm saying? That was a hot little name that kind of made sense. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We
got the Rock. Holla.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Nobody in there throwing up the diamonds. They should be, but they not.
You know what they're playing.
Oh my goodness. Well, we gonna keep moving, people. Y'all know what it is. We head on over to Reddit, visit the mean streets, am an asshole. And surprise, we already did that, but I'll at least read you the title right now. And the title for this week is "Am I the asshole for not updating my wife about our baby while she was out?" And then all of a sudden it'll appear in the show and you'll be like, "Oh, hey, that happened." It's a good time.
We don't got another one to do with Carl?
God, I did not pull another am an asshole, but I will gladly snatch one right quick. Let me head over to the old.
Is T an asshole for not pulling an am I the
asshole? You know what? This immediately seems like a good time. Nah, that's a bit lengthy for my taste. May come back for that one later. I'm trying to find one that's like, kind of reasonable. And right now, the am an asshole is not being reasonable. All right. And also, way more wedding ones show up than y'all would ever know. It's constantly
somebody seem to be the bugaboo.
Yeah, people be having a fit about that.
I don't want to
See-
put too much pressure on the team this year, though. By the way, what we were talking about, you say it's our best chance. We are very deep. There was an article that came out today that said, do they have too much of a good thing? And it's like, no, because one of these guys is going to go down. So we need all these extra bodies because we're going to need them to play well for at least probably 30 games this season.
Well,
We're going to have to rest PG, Kawhi, and John Wall at least 30 games.
Well, like when I said that it's your best shot is now, like right. I would say you got this year, next year. These are your two best shots, and because Paul George isn't getting any younger,
No,
and the Oklahoma City Thunder owns your soul for the next decade.
not the next decade, just through 2026.
Why is that?
That's only 3 years. We gave a lot of picks away for Paul George, which I after seeing what Rudy Gobert got, what they did, and kind of making sense of that trade. Also, Paul George got us to 6 games of Western Conference Finals last season. Paul George is the most disrespected player in the NBA.
I used to not think very much of Paul George. I thought he was extremely overrated, like in his Pacer days. Then over the last few years, he's kind of turned my opinion around. Not that my opinion matters to him in the eighth or for anything, but he used to be a choker. I felt like he was regular season good, playoff choker, like the whole playoff P thing. Like, but then the last 2 years, he's impressed me. I've come around on him. I'm a Paul George truther now.
Playoff P got overblown so hardcore. That's a symptom of, see, it's even happening in Cleveland. That's a symptom of anti-Clipper bias that takes over this country. I'm telling you.
Well, no,
Y'all don't think you hate the Clippers, but the people fear change, and they know the Clippers as the 1990s punching bag, even though we have not been that team in 14 years.
Playoff P was a victim of a man trying to give himself a nickname. You got to earn your nickname from everybody else. You can't go around being like, I'm Playoff P. No one's going to take you seriously then, especially when you're throwing up stinker after stinker every year. That was the problem. The man had to go out there and drop 30, Then people were like, you know what, this playoff P thing, maybe we should honor it.
Nah, they still shit on him. They act like, here's the problem with the Clippers. When you have this, no other franchise is forced to win a championship like the Clippers is forced to win a championship. And it's sad because there are franchises that are older than the Clippers that do not have championships, i.e. the Denver Nuggets, the Indiana Pacers, the Sacramento, Kansas City Kings. They don't have championships. They're older than us. There are teams out there that why are we the ones that if it's like, oh, Clippers want to be good? Well, they got to win a championship. Why is our playoff appearances when we didn't used to make the playoffs? The conversation went to Clippers ain't making the playoffs, to Clippers ain't getting out of the first round, to Clippers ain't getting out of the second round, to Clippers not making the Western Conference Finals, to Clippers not making it to the they keep having to move that goalpost every year.
That's the sensationalism of sports, man.
But they don't do it to anybody else. The point being that it feels like a Clipper only situation.
Yeah,
you feel like that when it's happening to you, but right now, all I hear is, "Oh, this Deshaun Watson trade is a failure if the Browns don't ever win the Super Bowl with him."
I haven't heard that.
From Baker Mayfield, oh, he's good if he just makes the playoffs because the Browns don't make the playoffs, to now, oh, it's all a failure if they don't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't gonna win a Super Bowl with Baker either.
No.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was a huge Baker fan. I wanted him going into that draft, and that first year, I was like, he's got something here. And then that second year, he just tanked. The team was shit. The coaching was terrible. He didn't try, and then it was just like he's just like this, up and down, up and down, up and down. He cock teases you with one good half, and then he comes out and he can't hit shit in the second half. Last year, we lost 5 games because he couldn't get shit done in the fourth quarter. And then I'm so tired of Skip Bayless. I swear to God, I'm ready for Crypt Keeper to fucking retire already. I can't take him anymore.
Josh Allen, not Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen is not good. Josh Allen fell, and then our good buddy, my best good friend, picked at 32 by the Baltimore Ravens that same year. Brother, Lamar Jackson. That's who y'all should have picked up. Should have drafted him first overall.
I feel like
You don't deserve a championship.
I feel like
Someday
whoever we would have got they wouldn't have been what they were within our organization. You know what I'm saying?
It's a tough organization.
Yeah, it'd be on. They be having some situations, man.
I'm gonna go here. Lamar Jackson ain't that good. The
All right,
dude
fellas.
can run.
Well, it's been nice talking to you. Take it easy.
The dude's hella athletic. He's got a cannon, but that accuracy ain't what you want. I've seen Mark Andrews is like 6'9", and he's had to jump like 12 feet in the air to catch some of them throws. That's all I'm saying.
They used to say that about Michael Vick too. It's a trend. It's a trend.
Maybe it's hard to be athletic when you run like a 4.1.
Man, let me tell you something. You give me a calendar week, 7 days. I'm taking Lamar Jackson over Baker Mayfield 8 of those days.
Oh yeah, I agreed with you 3 years ago, but now, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Baker. Oh, hey, good luck to you, Baker. Do well in Carolina. All right, Ant sent me an Emmett asshole. Let's run through it right quick. Emmett asshole for making a real life Pokedex of girls at my university. So freshman year of college, I began working on this project casually. I like to keep notes on women. I talk about their favorite things, activities that they enjoy, gifts, candy they like, sappy shit like that. I suck at remembering things like that, so I decided to keep a spreadsheet. Eventually, after getting a handful of entries, I offhandedly mentioned it to my friend group. One had the idea that I shared with them so we could all keep new entries as they caught different entries. So this expanded further. Right now, about 40 guys have access to it, and it's mainly the guys in my frat, and the women featured are girls from different sororities. We also added more information such as like where you should take them if you really want to impress them. We don't keep the information for any nefarious or scumbaggy reasons. Well, sir, we disagree. Just to keep us in the know what to do if we want to impress certain girls. Like the original idea was just to keep information like favorite colors, so I didn't ever forget their favorite colors. Now it's helping a lot of guys. Somehow a girl who was on the list found out and she was pissed off. She was eventually able to trace it back to me, so I assume someone who was simping for her. White folks should have never been taught that word. I want y'all to know that shit.
Hey.
What's simping for her snitched when the Pokédex wasn't making the girl like him. So she's pissed off and she made it out to be a guide to hooking up with women when it's most definitely not that. It's just to make impressing them on dates easier. That's it. She made a big deal of this, telling so many girls around campus, and now they're all saying that by the start of fall semester, none of them will be visiting our fraternity or going to our parties. Now all the guys are mad at me when I'm not even the one who told the girls about the list, and they were all using the list. I also think it's unfair to say the list was all about sex when it wasn't at all. Am I the asshole?
This shit sounds like something a college lacrosse team would do.
I mean, it sounds like the start of Facebook, honestly.
Holy smokes. He added this. I'm not a stalker. There's no information in that could have been used to hurt someone, only to have a better date. And it isn't about sex. I never used it for just sex.
You're right, Ted Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh.
That's pretty wild. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, you're right. That is kind of what kind of the story of Facebook was, that they was rating chicks, right? That was what that was about.
Yeah.
So my man thinking he the next Zuckerberg, but he did get caught out there.
I got this idea for this brand new thing
that has been done already. Yeah, I'm gonna call you the asshole. All of Reddit seems to agree, so I don't even have. Oh, there we go. Got a glow in the dark comment. You know, if we find a glow in the dark comment, we got to read it. This is from Serdwin. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, so we're not going to attempt to. Okay, let me see if I can explain this. Imagine you're a girl. Imagine talking to a guy, maybe going on a date or two or whatever, and he seems nice. You two get along and seem compatible. Then you find out that all those nice things he did was because he had access to a database of information about your likes and dislikes and other information. Not only yours, but a bunch of other women's info too. And not only that, but loads of guys have access to this info. Now, as a girl, you are hyper aware of the danger of sexual assault, stalking, etc. Quite probably you have a female friend and her family with traumatic experiences regarding this. One of the few ways you have to keep yourself safe is to share information about yourself wisely. And suddenly you realize that tons of guys you don't know and who don't and do not trust, have had all this information about you to try to win you over. That is fucking terrifying. For what I hope are obvious reasons. There is plenty of other things wrong with this. You've basically set out a goddamn menu of women for men to pick over and choose from, describing it as a Pokedex. But hopefully this might give you somewhere to start. You're the asshole. Delete the database immediately. Your convenience does not trump women's safety. Ta-da.
Can't help but agree with that.
Yeah, so yeah, you're an asshole. Jesus Christ. What are you thinking here, man? Ah, good Lord. All right. In the realm of entertainment this week, gentlemen, I'm caught up on Miss Marvel. I finished Nick Hornby's A Long Way Down, and once again went through Nick Hornby's High Fidelity because it is my favorite book, and one of my favorite books. And it was good to hear it one time. I listened to it this time. It's good to listen to it again. It's a really well read book. It's also one of my favorite movies, as y'all know. I fuck with High Fidelity. It was good to listen to it, and I beat Assassin's Creed Origins. So I actually finished that game off, which was not my intention when I started it, but there you go. It was free on Game Pass. It was a good time to be had. What y'all watch this week? Or play or read or do anything?
I inadvertently partook in the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I have not watched Miss Marvel. If we weren't doing this at this very moment, I would currently be watching Miss Marvel and The Boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I put that on the back burner. Other than that, all I did really was watch AEW.
Okay. Very good.
I started watching The Shy. I'm hate watching that this season. Because it seemed like they dig themselves into a hole after they like write off or kill off one of the people that's on the show, and then the first 3 episodes is like, yeah, let me explain why this person quit the show, and but I still watch it. I've watched every season so far. I've been watching Loop. What else? I finished. I look.
Before I forget, I did actually watch one thing, and it actually ties into something Carl said like way back at the beginning of the show. I watched a CBS show that had a black man as the lead.
And that show is
Evil.
I don't know that shows. I don't know that work. So
it's got Luke Cage as the lead.
Oh yeah, I want to watch that.
It's on the Paramount Plus. I gave you access to, baby. I'm on the last episode of season 2 right now, and then there's like season 3 is currently airing, and I think like 4 episodes are up on Paramount Plus right now.
I've been wanting to watch that. I have to get out and watch because I'm pretty much out of stuff like to watch. I can start P Valley. I watched like 1 episode of that, but my kids are home during the day now, so watching P Valley ain't really gonna be working out, right? Even though that show is highly entertaining.
Yeah, there's some stuff that they like do in the 2nd season that I'm like, wow, like a network show went there. Cool. Okay.
fair enough.
And
I watched. Oh, my bad.
no, go ahead, Carl.
I've been reading the book Music is History. We're listening to it by Questlove, which is very good. Check it out. Also, I've been watching. There's a series that they have on the SB Nation Secret Base channel called Dorktown, and I watched a whole history, like hour episodes each, like 7-part hour episodes each, of the history of the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh,
And it's super interesting. I hope they do it for almost every team. The teams that I mean, I don't like the Falcons. That's our biggest rival, but I respect the Falcons because they have sucked for years too, just like the Saints have.
I have to root against the Falcons because one of my friends is a Falcons fan, and we don't want him to be happy.
Watch that doc. They aren't happy.
Speaking of that, did you watch the HBO show about the Showtime Lakers, Carl?
I caught the first 3, and then it kind of lost me after that point.
Oh,
Petered
okay.
out on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just so fantastical, you know. Like I'd rather watch the documentaries on it, you know, the Magic doc on Showtime, stuff like that. I'd rather watch those. I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of like the histories of these teams and stuff like that. There's a lot of cool sports docs put online that I think like NFL Throwback Channel has some really good stuff. I watch a lot of that stuff, a lot of the histories of these teams, see how they operated, you know.
Yeah, I used to love watching 30 for 30s. Like
They're the best.
Like,
I'm watching the women's one right now.
okay.
The women's USA team 96.
The
Watching
World
that
Cup
right now.
or the basketball?
Basketball.
Okay. What's on that team? Anyway, well, okay, 30 for 30. Very good. Okay, good. Everybody has been entertained this week. Good job, y'all.
Oh yeah, and I'm still playing. Like I picked back on playing the Corey again.
Okay.
I'm playing MLB The Show.
Okay.
Like how hard you go at it? Like, is you like, you know, whole season sim and shit and all that good stuff?
I'm in the minors now, so I'm trying to keep my numbers up so I can get bumped up, so I can get moved up to the team. I'm also trying to get traded because I play for Boston right now. They draft, but that's one thing that I do love about this game is that you have the option to pick your own team, but they also give you the option to just be put on a team. And I'd much rather just be put on a team than pick my own team. I think that's the worst thing to happen to storyline games over the past like 10 years is like Madden and NBA just go, what team you want to play for? Like,
How realistic is it? Are you like living in a house with 12 other players eating grilled cheese sandwiches?
We never see that, but you are slumming it in towns. They show you on the bus and you trying to get moved up. And then at the end of those seasons, you can have like a really great season. Like my last guy on 21, I'm playing 22 now. My last guy on 21, I was in AA for 3 years, trying to do a 2A like Otani. I was in AA for 3 years, moved up to AAA, played a whole season AAA, hit like 340, like had like a great batting average, great pitching average, everything. They moved me back down to AA for another season. Then from AA, I went straight to the big show, and then I played 2 seasons on the main team, and then got knocked back down to AAA. Like, so it's like realistic. You really be feeling like, man, damn, like getting traded, contract not getting picked up, everything. It's really dope. It's a great game.
I don't think I want to get played out like that. Like, you ain't gonna be treating me off.
That's the fun about it, though. You don't get to choose. Like in the other games, you get to do everything you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
In Madden, you get to do everything you want to do. You know.
I promise you, when EA bought the NFL contract and didn't let 2K make football games no more, I said I would never buy another Madden game, and I promise you, I have not. Kept that word, so that's what's up. But
yeah, man.
You know what it is. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever possible. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Probably gonna post this one up over there. Subscribe to our Twitch channel and you follow us over Twitter at SKiMPod, SKIMPOD. If you want to support the show financially and a few bucks to toss our way, you can join us over on Patreon. We're members at the $5 and above tier. Get extra content each month. I put up a We Tried yesterday. Did I put that We Tried up? I put that We Tried up yesterday from the time we're recording this. And early access to new shows. We also have merch available over at tpublic.com/user/StateStretchYourMilk, all one word. And feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We certainly love to hear from you. And this week, we did hear from somebody. So let me pull that up so I can play it for you guys. Give me a second. Oh, let me pause that. And again, once again, I have to share y'all the screen. So let me do that. Share.
We can see those 2 pig heads again.
Share system audio if it's too loud. Oh, that's that Alchemist album Haram, Arm & Hammer and Alchemist. So my apologies. That's just what that is about. All right, share.
I love it. It's okay.
And play.
Long time no talk.
Can
I'm
you
a
hear?
little late on the whole 9th anniversary thing, so instead of happy the 10th, I'm going to go ahead and wish you a happy early 10th.
Nice.
Congratulations on a decade. Can't wait till you get to 20. I didn't think I'd be calling about squirrels. I have experience with squirrels. I don't know if you guys, well, go ahead. I don't know if you've ever seen a squirrel eat a bird. Craziest thing I've ever seen. I'm walking the campus, minding my own business. I just turn to my right, and there's a squirrel sitting on the bench, eating a robin, almost like he'd eat a hoagie. The two paws. It was quite disturbing. Oddly enough, I just read about it. Didn't know this existed. Just read about it a few hours before on crack.com. So that's a quick turnaround. My mother loves to tell this story. She was a girl, had a bad kid in the neighborhood who threw rocks at a squirrel one day up in a tree. He was successful. He got the squirrel, killed it. It fell out of the tree into the yard. Next thing you know, it's a scene out of The Red Balloon. Every squirrel in the neighborhood, and probably some far neighborhoods near and far, came running out of trees, out of the grass, and just came converging on this spot. Needless to say, it freaked all the kids out. Like the bad kid, I think, ran back to his porch, did not leave for quite some time. The squirrels just kind of stood there around the body of their fallen comrade, chirping, whatever sound they make.
Chittering.
Never seen anything like that. It probably freaked me out too. Kid was probably never heard from again. But who knew squirrels were that fascinating? But that's it. Again, happy anniversary, and can't wait for the next one. All right.
Thank you.
Hello, guys.
That was great.
All right. There we go. I'm about to say, did I stop that? Well, thank you for the support, the voicemail, and showing us love. Thank you for give us a happy anniversary shout out. That might have been the Squirrel King that your dude murdered, and they came to mourn their king. That's a sad situation. It's weird that your mama lived that. It's weird you saw a squirrel eat a bird. That's also weird. All these things are strange to me.
First, that squirrel crowd was because growing up, all I saw was brown, and then as time's gone, I've seen red, black. Like, was it the nation of squirrels just coming together?
The Nation of Squirrels might be your show title. So thank you for that, Daniel.
It takes 100,000 squirrels
to hold us back. Carl, man, thank you so very much for coming through, man. I that's me getting over my own damn self and just reaching out. Carl Ben said he would come and do the show, and that's me worrying that I'm bothering people, and I am trying my best to get over that fucking hump. And so thank you so very much for putting time aside for us and jumping on with us, man. It is a pleasure to have you. It's the homie. I know we're not, I know it is a lot of parasocial shit, but like I said, I really consider you a good friend. Like I said, I talk about you all the time. I'm super proud of all that you have done, all you keep succeeding at. Y'all should really be fucking around watching Grand Crew. It's on Hulu and Peacock. Go watch all that and enjoy every bit of it because it's a great show and I really love it. Anything you want to share with everybody and anybody?
Yeah, man, I just want to say thank y'all for having me on. Thank y'all for your support. Y'all have been there from the beginning, man, engaging and stuff like that. And it don't be too many of us engaging with my work. And I do want my people to like what I do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's no offense to you, my brother. Except for what you said about Lamar Jackson, full offense. But these guys, when I met them in Cleveland, I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, because it was starting to feel like between the Twitter replies I was getting and Instagram DMs I was getting, it was starting to feel like, man, black people don't know I exist. And I feel like I'm pretty good at this. So it's like, I'm glad that I make y'all proud, man. I appreciate that. And I appreciate y'all support. So thanks so much for having me on. And yeah, man, thanks a lot.
Thank you for being so generous with your time. Like, we've been doing this for a long, long time, and like the fact that like if you don't know this guy's work, just like off podcast alone, go to Stitcher and just put in Carl Tart. Carl is the king of podcasts. Like he is like Lil Wayne in the early 2000s, with hopping on the beat and murdering it.
I appreciate that.
Like always highly entertaining, always like fully engaged. And it doesn't matter what subject it is, you're always a professional at it. So I appreciate you blessing us with your time, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks, I think Carl's a perfect example of take the time to learn the people who create the art that you appreciate. Because I was telling some of my friends that we were interviewing him tonight, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know who that is." And then I started naming off stuff that he's done. They're like, "Oh, I love that show," or I fuck with that, or I listen to that, and
Yeah.
fully unaware of like, it's like, just appreciate the artist, man.
I got
Thank
to
you.
give a quick shout out to the homie Amber. I told Amber we were gonna have you on the show, and she's like, "I love him on Comedy Bang Bang." I was like, it was unexpected. I got to say, another black woman, so you know what I'm saying, another black person looking out for you, baby. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate it.
that's extra dope. I didn't get to go to see Carl in Boston. I had bought tickets to go see Doughboys. Me and Ant was gonna go to Boston and see Doughboys. Then the show got pushed back, and because the show got pushed back, it fell on the night of my son's senior prom, and I'm a dad. Had to be on that. So, but Ant did get to go and repping the crowd. So
did you set him up? Did you get him that Dodge Charger for the night?
No, but I did. Like I have a relatively nice, Honda, Civic. You know what I'm saying? It's lovely,
Yeah.
and it's only like it's only a little over a year old. So I was like, all right, let's get it all dipped out, get it fresh, get you extra clean, and you'll go. My son now drives a 1997, maybe a 99 BMW 325i that he bought with his own money.
Okay.
He drive a nicer car than I drive. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up with my child as he is out on the show now. Today, his 6-month anniversary with his lady. We was going to the beach as a family today. I tell my son, hey, we going to the beach. He like, I can't. I'm going to the aquarium with my lady. It's our 6-month anniversary. I'm like,
that's incredible.
Fair enough, son. You win. So
is he doing the college thing?
Yeah. He was going to go to a school in Lima, Ohio, but he decided he was going to just try to stay local. So he's going to go to the automotive program. I know. I talked to Carl about the Central was a Wilberforce we was talking about.
I went to Wilberforce, but Central's right there.
Yeah. So I'd actually talked to Carl about that a while back, and he going to stay local. He's going to go to do the. My son fixes cars. That's what his jam is. So he wants to do the automotive program at our local community college. And I was like, that's fine, man. Whatever you want to do, I just want you to get to it. And I want you to knock it out, man. So that is the plan. And may he pull it successfully off.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that is Tatum 216.
Yeah. Good night. See you next Thursday.
That's Lunchbox 2099. How'd that stumble over that, Dan? I'm sorry.
It's only been like 10 years of this.
It's all good. That's Carl Tart II. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah.
I am the Internet's Taylor 713. You just been podcasting, and I know you loved it. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
This Carl makes better hamburgers.